What's going on, Warriors? It's your boy, Lionheart, and I'm back. Feels good. It feels real good, man. First of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody for subscribing. Today's the 8th of April. I did that unboxing for the Final Fantasy Remake First Class Edition on the 2nd of April, right? And I've had over 200 subscribers since then, right? Unbelievable. Thank you very much. Thanks for subscribing, sharing, commenting, your words of support. Because I see a lot of you guys have put a lot of comments and of just inspiration, man. Inspiration and support. And it just makes me want to put more effort into this thing, And thanks for your belief in me. And yeah, let's do this thing. Let's get into it. So this is not a review. This is me just talking about how I feel about Final Fantasy VII Remake so far, right? So let's start off with, is the game worth your time and money? Yes, absolutely, 100%, right? Game is godlike, super godlike. I can't even articulate how godlike this game is to such a degree, I won't even bother. I'll just say, game is worth it. So what I would say is, if that's what you wanted to hear, that's it. That's what I've got to say. But if you want to hear more about why I like the game and why I think the game is worth your money, stick around. We're going to go into more depth. Right? So, first of all, I'm going to say that I am going to talk about stuff that you've seen in the trailers and played in the demo. Right? I'm not going to go any further than that. I'm not going to say anything about story. Right, so anything that I refer to has already been shown in the demo or in trailers. Let's go. So first of all, I want to talk about the characters. Yeah, so the way the characters are, there's a lot of character development in this game, a tremendous amount. From when you first meet Cloud, he's like a guy that is not very nice and just tries too hard to be cool, to the point where he's obnoxious, right? He is actually a really good, deep, intricate character. But they portray him in a way where he's just annoying and thinks he's too cool, right? But you have to see past all of that. And as the game goes along, as he starts to get to know characters like Barrett, Aerith, Jesse, Biggs, Wedge, he starts to have situations where he breaks character on accident, and then he catches himself doing it and tries to be cool again. And you're like, I saw that, Cloud. I saw you trying to be cool, bro. I saw you being yourself. I caught you being yourself, but you're trying to be cool, right? And it's the way that you see his character developing from, he's like you and me, right? Certain situations when you're at work, you be professional, or as professional to the best of your ability. Certain situations, you're trying to be cool when you're in a certain environment with certain people. You put on an act. And you try to act like you're super cool in that situation or scenario. The thing is with putting on an act, or a facade or a mask, is it can fall off, And then once that veil is gone, all that's left is you. And in this game, you see that a lot with Cloud. But because he's surrounded with such beautiful characters, he kind of becomes more comfortable just being himself and showing who he is to those characters. And it's that journey of the character changing and becoming a better character, a different character, and a better character that just makes you think to yourself, this game is unbelievable. It's the same thing with Tifa. Tifa she's already an open book when you first meet her, but you start to see the layers to her character, right? And it's those layers which can only be shown by her being put in a lot of different situations. The range of characterization in all of the characters is unbelievable. Even Aerith, at first, she was kind of irritating, right? And I love Aerith, but I found her kind of irritating because she was just always speaking in like riddles and just being mysterious and a bit of a tease, and you're not knowing what her real intentions or her feelings are or whichever, yeah? But as the game goes along, you just start to learn that she's just a super nice, beautiful character. It's unbelievable. And then you have Barrett, and then Barrett, he starts... I'll tell you what it is with Barrett. Barrett cares too much. The character cares too much. That's the way he starts off, like, very... he's very bold and very loud and very... Seems like he's got, like, a lot of anger and hate. But he's actually a very passionate, loving guy, right? He's actually, if anything, I think Barrett is, like, the nicest, coolest, most awesome character in that game. He's wicked, man. And to finish it, I couldn't see it at first. But as the game started to go along, I started to understand. It first happened when you win battles, and then you hear Barrett always go da 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 da. He always sings Final Fantasy music in certain situations, right? And it's the face expressions before he starts to say stuff. The point where he's just like too cool, he's wearing those glasses, which the graphics on those glasses are incredible, by the way. He does like these subtle face expressions, and that's what they all do. All of the characters, they tell a story of their characters changing with their face expressions before their acts and their articulation and the things that they say and do changes. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And another thing as well is, in this game, do you know how many lines of text you have to read in this entire game? Final Fantasy VII was nothing but text. You read the whole game, right? In this game, do you know how much text you read when you're taught? Like, for example, when Barrett talks to Tifa, or when Aerith talks to Biggs, or when Barrett, Cloud, and Aerith are talking. You know how many lines of dialogue you have to read? None. None. Everything is vocalized. Everything they say, everything. There's nothing. You read nothing. It's incredible. It's absolutely amazing. Even when you're in battles, you can see like the teamwork in battles, because there's certain situations where you'll be in a battle, be it in a boss fight or an event fight, right? That pushes the story forward. Yeah, you'll be doing normal combat, which is the combat in this game is godlike, by the way. And then all of a sudden, you'll get the boss to a certain amount of life, or you will go to a certain part of the stage, yeah, of the area that you're fighting in, and then it'll go into a little cutscene just for like about 20, 30 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds, right? But then it will be like a little cutscene where the characters like Tifa and Cloud will do some incredible teamwork. Yeah, well, they'll do some mad martial arts or whichever teamwork moves. And then it will go back into battle again. And you're like, whoa, that was incredible. That was amazing, right? Because the game and the way it will go into the cutscenes, it's like in the intro when you saw Cloud was on the train, and he jumped off the train and it went into normal combat. There was no loading. It was just straight away CG into in-game. That's exactly how they do it in this game with the in-game events or the cutscenes or the CG that happens in the middle of fights, right? And there's a lot of cutscenes, a lot of in-game cutscenes, right? I'll be honest with you, I can't tell the difference between rendered movies, cutscenes, and the CG. It's kind of difficult to tell because they mix them up so frequently and so well that it's hard to distinguish what is CG, what is cutscene, what is cutscene, which is in-game, in terms of the character interactions, right? Right, but there's a lot of that. That's what I love in the game. There's a lot of talk between the characters when they're going from point A of story to point B of story. Yeah, and when you get to point A to point B, there can be certain situations where in between point A and B, there is quite a difference in terms of the way the characters interact with each other. And you say, why did you get, how come they're so familiar with each other between point A and point B? If you do the side missions, so let's say you've got point A, and then you have within point A, you have A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8, A9, and A10. Now, if you do all of those points within the story, within the their side missions within point A, you will build up a kind of picture of Cloud and Tifa's relationship, and they build it. So by the time you got to point B, you are not surprised that they talk so familiar, like they've been through so much, like they understand so much about the slums in Sector 7 and how people actually respect Cloud because you've actually done the side quests, the side missions. And the side missions are all good because it builds the rapport, the relationship, the understanding that you have with Tifa and Cloud, and you and Cloud, and you and Tifa, and the people in Sector 7, in the slums. It just makes you understand the world that you're in, and it makes you love it even more. So, and the finish here, the side missions are not, they're not garbage. They will match the point of the story you're in. You ain't gonna get some stupid, I don't know, idiotic side mission where you're going to post letters, right, all over the place when it doesn't match the story, where something tragic has just happened to somebody and all of a sudden you have to go post letters or something like that, or catch butterflies. You ain't gonna get any stupidness like that. If something happens like that, the characters will hold it down in combat. Like, you won't hear them saying banter talk in story, in the cutscenes or in the story, right? The side missions, there probably won't be any side missions, right, because of what's just happened, or the side missions will match the events of what's just happened, right? So they do balance it out well. So I would recommend, to understand the game and the characters and the world more, you should do side missions. That is kind of, I felt it was kind of a big point of the actual game, but they just cut out. But they've always done that in Final Fantasy. You know, Final Fantasy 7, very, very important aspects of the game they cut out, and they made it into like side missions, you know, like situations with like Sephiroth, you know, the history of Aerith, you know, the history of Tifa, Cloud's in-depth backstory, all side missions in Final Fantasy, the original Final Fantasy 7, right? So it didn't surprise me that they did like this, right? But just, which I should have expected, and I did expect, but it's just the level of detail, and they care so much about, I can tell, when you play this game, and you'll feel it too, Square Enix cares so much about the game, the world, the game, the characters, the everything. They care about everything. How you see Midgar. Midgar is incredible. Sector 7, I spent 4 hours in Sector 7 just going about, chilling, looking at everybody, talking with everybody, doing side missions. Just, I used up a lot of time just in Sector 7 because I was just so amazed by it. You know, in Sector 5, you know, just going through all the areas, the combat. I've got master material. I've got master material of every single element in the game. I've got master material of every magic, of healing and status effects. You know, but I had that within 5 5 to 6 hours of the game, I already had master material. I knew my objective when I was playing that game straight away. You know, the way you level up the characters and you can make the characters' stats stronger. I love that. The way they've changed the system of you making your character stronger, where you can actually customize whether your character's going to be strong against magic, strong doing magic, strong defense and strength, strong magic defense, strong normal defense and high magic, but physically weak. How you want to build your character is really good, really flexible in the game. It's amazing. The materia is actually, the magic is godlike. The summons, unbelievable. Visually, amazing. One thing I will say is, when you look at the summons in this game, the summons, you can't call the summons anytime you want. Yeah, like if you're fighting against like bandits, you can't summon. Yeah, they will never get you to that point, or they might get you to that point, right? If your characters are very, very weak, then you might get a summon in that battle, right? You're not going to get a fight if you're fighting some low level, but if you're fighting like a high level enemy or a mid boss or a hidden optional boss, or you're fighting a boss or anything like that, it's going to tell. You're going to be able to know when you need a summon, and when you know you need a summon, guess what? Someone's going to arrive. So I feel the way that they've done the summons is good. It works. It works, and the summons are incredible. Visually, graphics are incredible. Their moves, fantastic, and their summon, their final ultimate attack is just astonishing, right? Just in general, the combat in this game is just... it's outstanding. It's outstanding. The characterizations of, you know, even the antagonists like Sephiroth. Sephiroth is the villain that you need in this game, right? I love the way that Sephiroth, they haven't made Sephiroth like a boss that is just super strong. He's a psychological warfare master, right? And you put someone like that against Cloud, who's already broken mentally, psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, just broken, twisted, a disturbed person who's been through a lot, right? And then you got someone like Sephiroth. He knows exactly where to get Cloud, exactly where to get Cloud. It's amazing. It's amazing, this game, man. And I just feel like I'm meeting Cloud again for the first time. Because even in Advent Children, where they did emphasize on Cloud's character, I feel like Final Fantasy VII Advent Children came at a time where the world was just trying to be too cool, right? Like, you saw all the characters were like, their personalities didn't really come out. They were all wearing like black leather, right? So the characters, you know, I just felt like they never were themselves, but the movie was incredible. This game, they are taking the time to create an absolute masterpiece, and that is what they have done. Game is wonderful. You are going to love the character interactions. The Turks, Reno and Rude and Sing, unbelievable characters. The way that they've done them, the way they've done the battles, it makes sense. It's not goofy, you know, like it was before. It's actually proper. They make the battles really good. They are worthy. They have a level when they're fighting against Tifa, Barret, Aerith and Cloud. It's unbelievable, right? And I will say, I love the way that they have personified Cloud as a normal person, man. You know, where you can see he's literally just trying to be cool, and certain situations where he's trying to be cool, you like blatantly, you're like, that's not cool, bro. That's not cool, man. You know, or he's trying to be cool, but you could tell he's actually goofy, right? Because there's certain situations with Cloud, even in the original one, where he was goofy, man. He was actually a funny character, right? He's kind of like a big kid. But because he, as I said, he's psychologically broken, yeah, and he's been through so much, and he trying to be cool, that it's just so much mixed into his character that it's hard to see if he's serious or not, right? So in terms of the character relationships, it's unbelievable. It's a beautiful thing to watch, incredible thing to play. You're going to love it if you like story, like example Witcher. Yeah, they've done the story similar to the way they've done Witcher, with a lot of cutscenes, but the only difference between that is this fighting system is actually godlike. This is easily the best fighting system in any Final Fantasy game, any RPG. Easy. It's good, man. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say about that. I hope I made it through without any spoilers. And before you say, like, you know, like Avalanche, Biggs, Wedge, Jesse, there's a reason why I didn't really go into detail those characters. It's because of story. I don't feel like I can talk about those characters without saying something about the story on accident, right? Because those characters are beautiful characters, godlike characters, right? When you see them at the beginning, you feel a different way about them in the beginning than you do as the story goes along, right? But same like that with everybody, but yeah, they have particular pace in story. So yeah, and Shinra as well, right? I don't really want to talk about Shinra too much, because when I do my next, whether I do another progress report about the game or I do a full review, we'll talk about it then. All right, Warriors, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking with me. I'd like to know how you're feeling about the game. Looking forward to it. Have you pre-ordered it? Are you going to pre-order it? Are you waiting for reviews? Let me know. I want to know what you think, right? If I had to give this game a grade so far, yeah, it'd be a 10 out of 10. That's how I would give this, what I would give this game. 3. Easiest 10 out of 10 I can give a game so far. And I feel like I've been through a lot. But, man, this game is long. Alright, Warriors. I want to say thanks. Take care, stay blessed, and stay safe. And catch you soon.